Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Pub Sports Talk. I'm one of your co-hosts, Evan Fitzsimmons, and joining me, the regular crew, Parker Hackey, Devin Slate, Tim Farner, and Matt Whitehorn across the pond. We got a full episode of NFL playoffs coming up. We've got our recap of the Natty, the national championship game, and we've got our recent head coaches NFL offseason already underway with coach firing. And with that said, here's our episode. Episode 85, OchoCinco. Let's get it.
We should have got Stokes out cigars, make some McDonald's for OchoCinco. We should have done it all. Should have had Ochocinco on, but whatever. He'll people get with us, and we'll get him.
Maybe with Pac-Man Jones.
Yeah, that'll be the heavy episode. Hey, let's just talk about this. We had a lot of money on the line this weekend, a lot of potential money on the line, and some potential money still out there to get. Pub, we told you last week the pub parlay was hitting. We had the dogs of the dogs picking here, and boys, I don't know about you, but I woke up feeling like Scrooge McDuck. I was just ready to dive in that sucker, baby. I mean, Raiders, Georgia pulled off for us. They made a sweat for us. The Steelers, Titans, Jags, Wolverhampton, they all got the job done for us in the pub parlay last weekend. I feel good. And Evan, you sent me the clip from Goodfellas. I've got to play it because this is perfect. You're absolutely right.
Nobody knows for sure just how much was taken in the daring pre-dawn raid at the Lufthansa cargo terminal at Kennedy Airport. The FBI says $2 million. Port Authority police say $4 million. The city cops say $5. Lufthansa has not said anything, but they promised to break their silence soon with a press conference. No, son of a bitch! Will be there to cover it live from the scene of the heist at JFK.
I love it. You're exactly right. That's exactly how we felt there. We pulled a heist on my bookie there. Now, Slate, you messed up on your soccer pick, and you got to take Wolverhampton over Southampton. Oh.
I'm feeling pretty good about it.
All right. But, hey, you got some big money coming your way if this hits because they were even more of a dog this coming Saturday than they were last Saturday.
Yep, $11,000 off a $50 bet, potentially. And I just need the Wolves to pull through. I got a wedding to pay for. If you're a Wolf soccer player out there, please, for the love of God, win.
The man's planning a wedding. Let's go. He deserves this.
Slate, if the Wolves win, will you be a Wolf fan for life?
Oh, dude, I don't even know what I will do.
You'll fly to Wolverhampton. You'll go to.
I may run down my street naked.
I put a wolf in the chat for Slate there in the all of Wolverhampton, baby. Let's go. I'm here for it. But the game that sealed the pub parlay pick, Georgia, Bama, it seemed like this game was it was a SEC battle defense. I mean, trading field goals for the entire first half, 9-6. All of a sudden, second half, boom, Georgia's off and running. They win 33-18. It knocks out Saban and the Bama dynasty here. A lot of people were ready to write Georgia off. Yes, they were the favorite, but a lot of people were on Bama's bandwagon and said, there's no way Georgia stays with these guys. And they did it. We talked a lot of trash about Stetson Bennett, Georgia's quarterback, looking like Street from Saved by the Bell, 150-pound D1 quarterback. But the dude, I mean, when it mattered the most, he got the job done along with those Hogs up front. As we were watching the game, any thoughts come to mind about the Bulldogs?
I thought of – mine's more with Alabama is how often this year or just that people flip-flop from saying that Alabama, this is the worst team in Alabama history in recent time. And then it flip-flopped after the SEC championship. It's like, this is the best Bama team ever. And I'm kind of scratching my head going, like, which one is it? I mean, I thought this was a Bama team that has gotten hot at the right time, that they struggled against Auburn, and almost lost the Iron Bowl and wouldn't even have been in it in the first place. So it was just kind of weird to see it flip-flop. And then it went back to Georgia of like, okay, Georgia's the favorite. They've got the Hogs on the O-line. Like, they're going to give them problems. And you saw it in the second half. I mean, you just saw it as they started pounding the rock and it just seemed to open up for Georgia, and that Bama couldn't hang after a while. It was just head scratching, just kind of where the noise was with Bama is the better team, Georgia doesn't have a chance, based on the opinions formed on Bama earlier in the year. It just didn't add up in my mind.
Yeah, it fits. You kind of flip scripts here, because when Jay Gray made her pick here, you were not a fan of it.
Well, yeah, and that was based purely on Saban. That I thought because I didn't say this is the best Bama team ever. I just think that Nick Saban finds ways to win games. That even though Georgia should win, I thought Saban was going to coach him well, and he really did. I thought he had him in a great position. All they really needed at the end there was another stop on Georgia, and credit for Georgia, they didn't say we're going to play conservative. They stuck their game plan, sling it, and that QB back there can sling the rock. I mean, he was dropping it in like Russell Wilson on some of those deep shots. And so, I mean, just kudos to them. And that's what they did against Michigan too. And the Michigan game is just taking some deep shots, and that's their offense. And I think that's what was most impressive, seeing Georgia play that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Slate, you said they look like Godzillas out there, Georgia, compared to Bama at times. What was your thoughts on the game?
Well, shit. I mean, at the goal line, you've got Jordan Davis, who's 6'6", 360, and then you've got Carter, who's like 6'5", 310 or something like that, playing fullback. So, yeah, they look like Godzillas out there, man. That's a huge team. And one thing that I've always kind of admired about Georgia is, even if their run game is not producing, like it didn't produce very much last night, but all it takes is that one GT counter, baby, where he cuts that thing back. He gets the defense over pursuing. Georgia's always been one of those teams respect them, and that's, I think, how they get all those deep passes and stuff like that open. But, yeah, Stetson Bennett made me fucking nervous as hell last night. Every time the dude tucks the football to run, he basically fumbled. And he recovered three of them, and then the one he just was – being a little goober or whatever, and fumbles it right there at the 16. But yeah, he scared me. I will take back all the bad things I said about you last night, Stetson, and now I will turn all my focus to the Wolves, and I will curse their names. But no, I love the game. I thought obviously the 33-18, that score really is not. The game was way closer than that. You had one pick six there at the end and a few other, missed keys and stuff like that. But really close game. That was probably one of my favorite national championships in a hot minute. I think it's mostly because Bama lost, but I don't know. Good times. Good times.
Yeah, absolutely. Matt, Tim, any thoughts on the game?
So like most late night games, I caught the highlights the next morning. It seemed like it was like, so we touched on it last week. This was all you could ask for as a football fan. Like the game was just good overall. Or at least it seemed to be. I didn't get quite the game pace as you would like in a normal game, but I mean, it was just exciting. Now, it's nice for us to say, or really me especially, because I could care less about either team. But, like, it was nice as, like, just a football fan to see that the college playoffs, you felt that you felt like the best teams were there. You felt like, no one was there off a fluke or, with COVID, with protocols going crazy this year, you felt like the best two teams were there, and it showed. And like Devin said, it was just a great game, great championship game.
Yeah, absolutely. Matt?
The first thing I did when I woke up was saw the score. I listened to Money, Money, Money by ABBA. And the celebrations in that stadium when that final pick came in, I was, oh my god, that's unbelievable! Like the crowd went absolutely crazy. It looks like an unbelievable game. Wish I'd been able to stay up for it, but yeah, as you said, it's just a cracking game. Actually, it's nice to have a a final. It'll cross of all sports where it's not just one massively one way. It was good to see a close, actual, tight net final.
Yeah, absolutely, and yeah, I think this was the college football playoff game of the century so far of finals, and I think you can deem it that as right now, and you can make an argument for it pretty easy.
Yeah, that had to have been two of the best college defenses of all time.
Oh yeah, I mean, speed, speed and size.
Yeah, it was fun to watch for a defense guy. Oh, and also, did y'all see Stetson Bennett on Good Morning America? Hung over as a mug.
Oh yeah,
dude.
I saw that.
He sounded terrible.
Get that man a Pedialyte and a Snickers now.
Yeah, his voice sounded rough.
Dude. Yeah, they were like, you had a couple hours of sleep, and he wanted to say something else, but he was like, my PR guy's here, I can't.
Yeah, he is biting that tongue hard.
Well, any other thoughts on college football? Once again, we got to bash ESPN. They came out with an article today. Georgia's the new Bama and dynasty. I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready to say, hold the effing phone here. I'm not ready to crown. Otherwise, you get one chip in 41 years. Like, let's calm down here. Relax.
Yeah, you got to win 2 before you are a dynasty. Yeah, win 3.
Considered.
Yeah,
to be in the conversation. Yeah, I agree with that.
Absolutely. Okay, I just want to make sure we're all on the same page here.
Yeah, that's classic ESPN.
Whoa. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah. All right. Moving from college football, we're going to move into a little NHL action here. Then we'll go back to NFL because we got a lot of NFL to unpack here with Black Monday. But NHL power rankings, those teams right there, Canes and Preds, on top of the leaderboard here. I don't think anybody's surprised. I mean, we've all been on the Canes bandwagon. The Preds have been hot and cold for the past 3 or 4 seasons now. They're finally clicking. You got the Golden Knights up there. You got the Leafs up there. It seems like all is right in hockey world of these powerhouses finally doing what they're supposed to. Because early on the season, a lot of COVID protocol, a lot of games being canceled, and them losing a lot of games because of key players not being in there. But it seems like the elite, the NHL royalty for the past couple of seasons are finally creeping their way back to the top. But a lot of good action. Devin, I don't know if you're watching as much as you were last year because you committed yourself to it. But there's been some good games. The games have been heating up. The Red Wings are climbing their way from the depths of hell, trying to get to mid-pack there. I mean, NHL, now that the college football is done, NFL is slowly winding down, turn our sights to NHL because it's a lot of fun games to be had.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to focusing a little bit more energy on some chill. And I'm pissed because last year I was trying so damn hard to be a Predators fan and they were shit. And then this year, when I've already made allegiances to the Canes, they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna be very good this year." Classic. I tried Nashville.
They just weren't ready for you. The Kraken aren't ready for you either. They're sitting at bottom last right now. But it's the first year. It's the first year. We give them a break here. Any other NHL action? I'm just glad to see more games are being played. They're starting to get the COVID under wraps here. They're starting to figure out what protocols are going to work with the Omicron variant. Cool. Well, boys, with that being said, let's hit our stud to spud to stud. And once again, just like last week, we had to pour some out from Betty White. We had to pull out some.
It's cold-blooded.
Danny Tanner, he's a stud. He's a stud. Bob Saget, rest in peace, baby.
Stud.
So he is our honorary stud this week. But anybody come to mind for you guys, spud to stud or stud to spud?
Carson Wentz.
Oh, good one.
Had an absolute stinker. The Colts needed a win against the Jags. Yeah, okay, we said last week they haven't won there since 2014. But this is a Jags where the fans turned up dressed as clowns. And if you can't beat a team where the fans are dressing as clowns, you're literally a clown. Carson Wentz had an absolute stinker. Trevor Lawrence actually played quite well, to be fair. But the Colts were bad.
Yeah, no, I think you hit the nail on the head there. The Colts Jim Ersley said today, changes will be made, but Frank Reich keeps his job. But everybody else is in the hot seat there. And I think Carson Wentz, he's got a big bullseye on his head because I don't think he's the guy.
I think with that, I think my spud the studs are the Pittsburgh Steelers. They found a way to get in. Big Ben, his run's not over. They got a matchup against the Chiefs, which we'll get into. But, I mean, in my book, that was a playoff team earlier in the year, and they were kind of blowing it. But especially, with their guy TJ Watt there, I'm like, I would love to see the defensive player of the year in the playoffs and get a chance. So, yeah, good for them.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to them. They did what they were supposed to do. They controlled what they could, and then they paid Jacksonville a hefty money there, prize money, to get the job done, and they did it.
I would say spud to stud, Ryan Tannehill. Best game of the season so far. I think almost 300, maybe 4 passing TDs. So goes to him going into playoffs, playing hot.
And that was, once again, must win to get the 1 seed here.
Yep.
And they did it. And you're right, Tannehill, baby. Former wide receiver turned quarterback. You love to see that story.
He was a wide receiver
At Texas A&M.
That is crazy. I didn't know that. That is wild.
My spud to stud, Brian Flores. So I don't know about you guys, and we might touch on it, was not expecting him to be fired. I think he is probably the best out of the coaching pool that's available right now, like immediately, without digging in the weeds and going into college and thinking, oh, this coach might be it. I mean, if I'm, the Vikings or Chicago with, a promising young quarterback, like Brian Flores is an attractive head coach position. So I think he went from a very dysfunctional front office to hopefully something better for him. So he's my stud. I think he's going to have a great offseason.
How long was he in Miami? He wasn't there very long.
4 seasons, maybe?
4 seasons? Yeah.
Or maybe 3. Maybe 3 to 4, yeah.
It feels like he just got there.
Yeah. Last 2 winning seasons.
Yeah, and last year the Dolphins were on top of the league in defense. Like they weren't doing anything else, but their defense was making noise. And then this year, as Tim's reminded us every week, they've just been winning, and they don't make the playoffs. So you fire them, even though you just got that one's head scratching for me too, Tim.
It's very head scratching. We're gonna get more into that when we talk about fired head coaches and Black Monday. But Tim, I'm glad you brought it up because my stud to spud is the whole Miami Dolphins organization. The whole franchise went from, hey, we've got something good here to, nah, this is shit. Let's throw it away. I just don't know how you justify firing Brian Flores, and we'll get more into it, but head scratching for me. And then my spud to stud, former walk-on to JUCO project, back to a walk-on at Georgia, climbs the ranks, Stinson Bennett there, gets the Natty Championship. I mean, that's a cool story for him to be a hometown Georgia kid. He walks on, not good enough to make it, goes to JUCO, gets film out there, and comes back. I mean, what a dope story, and I'm happy for him. We gave him a lot of shit on the group text, but he balled out when he was supposed to. He got the job done, and he made the pub rich. So appreciate you, young man.
Jimmy! Slap the shower.
Anybody else come to mind for us? Cool. Well, boys, let's dive into NFL music and let's talk about some Black Monday. As of right now, we've got a couple of head coaching jobs open. There could be more coming down the line. We'll find out. But the most surprising one, Brian Flores. He's fired out of Miami. We all think it's surprising. I don't think any of us saw that one coming. I mean, they finished 8-8. They're right there in the thick of things. Who takes over this job? Where does Brian Flores end up at?
I think before we get started, I think this is just a silly case of be careful what you wish for. so many sporting organizations think they're much better than what they are, and then sack their manager for doing a good job, but they want someone to take them much further. I mean, ridiculous. I mean, they just beat the Pats. Like, as we said, it's the most ridiculous sacking I've seen for a while.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point. You're like, hey, I want a Ferrari on a teacher pay on a salary. It ain't gonna happen, brother. Like, come on. What are you thinking? Be realistic in your expectations there.
So I guess my questions are, who are I've seen 4 head coaches get fired this week. So who are the head coaches? And then let's just figure out who are the potential coaches that are going to be available.
Flores already interviewed with the Bears today, right? Or is in the process of interviewing with the Bears?
Yep. Which I think that's a really good fit for him. Tim kind of hinted at earlier that they have a young quarterback ready to get after it. It's a good core group there. You got a good defense there in Chicago. I think he could be a really good candidate for that. But yeah,
I've got my short list if you want me to jump in there.
Go for it.
So basically it's Flores was probably the big one. And then Vic Fangio's gone from the Broncos. And then,
also a little surprising.
That one's not as surprising for me.
Not as surprising.
But then the Bears fired Nagy finally. He's been on the hot seat what feels like ever since he won Coach of the Year. And then Mike Zimmer out of Minnesota. Were there any others at this point?
You got Urban Meyer and the Jags, but that was before Monday, Black Monday.
I also think I saw a headline before the pod. I think Joe Judge is out.
Oh, yeah.
Where's he?
Yeah, he's just gone.
I think they sacked him.
Who's he?
Joe Judge, Giants.
The Giants.
Oh, Giants. Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they fired Judge, which I was ready for him to be fired. Yeah, he's only been there for 2 seasons, but it's been so dysfunctional. But I thought since he survived Black Monday, he was good. Nope. Scratch that. Make it Black Tuesday. He's gone.
Black Tuesday. Man, it's like, oof, I survived the Monday. And then,
he's
like a second wave.
Yeah.
That's the wrong number.
Dude, he walked in the office Tuesday morning, was like, sack on the table, like, baby, I'm here to stay. And like, oh, you didn't get the memo? My bad. It got lost in the mail. Here's your pink slip. Oh, that's tough.
So the 3 college coaches that I've seen thrown around, it's Jim Harbaugh, it's the Cincinnati head coach, Fickell. And then Iowa State head coach, Matt Campbell. Those are the 3 college coaches that can move. I don't really know. I've been waiting for Harbaugh to come back to the NFL. Do you think any of those 3 are actually going to make the jump to NFL?
I think
Harbaugh.
I think me and Devin are probably on the same wavelength here. Let's finish that thought.
Yeah, no, I think he's probably the only one that's really fit for a HC job right now. I'm sure they'll jump, but I don't think they're going to jump into a HC job in the NFL.
It's tough to do, but Harbaugh to the Bears makes a lot of sense to me. He played quarterback for the Bears. He's used that team. He's used the organization. He's been in the NFL. He's been successful in the NFL with a Kaepernick. Now imagine what he does with Fields. To me, that's more realistic. If I'm Campbell, if I'm Fickell, I'm staying put because typically college coaches do not last in the NFL, typically.
Yeah.
Another college coach you got to think about, too, is Bill O'Brien.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Alabama's OC. Former Texans. Which you're crazy if you give him another shot. I mean, I think he was the dumbass of the week for Tim every single week last season.
Pretty much.
And then I guess, NFL assistants to keep an eye on. So these guys are still coaching because they're on playoff teams. They're having success. But I think the biggest name is Kellen Moore, offensive coordinator of the Cowboys. And he's just interesting because he's so young. He feels like he got drafted yesterday. And
we just saw him in the Fiesta Bowl with Boise State.
Yeah, I know. And he's coaching and could possibly be the hottest head coach this offseason, the brains behind this Dallas Cowboys offense. So that's one. The next one is the Buccaneers offensive coordinator, Byron Leftwich. And I don't know much about him. I mean, besides his professional career, I don't know much about his coaching. And then Eric Bieniemy of Kansas City. I don't know how to say his name. Bieniemy. But yeah, I mean, just that Kansas City's had success. He's part of this Andy Reid tree now. You imagine that something's going to rub off on him.
And he was a big name last offseason of getting a head coaching job, and everybody was shocked he didn't get one. Yeah. And so maybe he learned how to interview in that process, and maybe this is his chance. I like it. I mean, Kellen Moore's good. Brian Leftwich, Tom Brady has said nothing but great things about him, and BA, Bruce Arians. So I think all three of those names we're going to see moving up for the jobs, because out of the coaches you name who were fired, the only one I see getting another job is Brian Flores. I don't see the other three getting a HC job.
Yeah. The thing is,
one of them will be in Saban's offense soon.
Well, I've been saying for years, I'm ready to see Mike Zimmer become defensive coordinator somewhere. I just don't. I think his specialty is defense, and I'm curious about his landing spot. But then especially Kellen Moore. I mean, I think Kellen Moore could be the next, greatest coach in this league, just because he's young and he's moved up so fast. Like, he's worked his way up so fast that it's pretty amazing.
Vince, what do you and Matt think about Hackett?
Yeah, I'm slightly worried. This is obviously distraction going into an important part of the season. I think he'll probably go to Jacksonville because he was at Jacksonville before Green Bay. So, yeah, slightly worried. Actually, I'm very worried.
Well, if he's smart, he stays far away from Jacksonville.
That's true.
Oh, man. I didn't even see this.
Yeah, so the Broncos want to interview him, and so do the Bears. And I think the Jags already have or also want to.
Some of these are very head scratching. Vikings and Dolphins, probably the two shocking ones for me. I thought Zimmerman would get another year, another chance. Flores, obviously, I thought he would. Those two, I'm really curious to see where they go to. But the other, Vic, Matt Nagy, and Joe Judge, I don't know if they stick around in the NFL. They might have to drop down to Saban's offense. I mean, Joe Judge is a Belichick disciple. Maybe, him and Saban, but hey, Joe Judge can coach your O-line for you or whatever. I don't know. I just don't see those other guys getting jobs.
I have no idea where Nagy's going to end up. He is just so weird.
I think he just stumbled in the wrong room in Chicago and you're here for the head coaching job. He's like, I guess so. I don't know. And it was like he fucked around for a couple of years. Like, oh man, I can maybe do this.
He's the only bald man I've seen wear a visor, like in Chicago, like when it's 20 degrees out, and it just blows my mind. And I'm just like, it's not working. Like, whatever you're doing, it ain't working.
I like it. It's a little sunroof, a little drop top, baby. Any other coaches being fired before we move into playoffs?
Not fired, potentially hired. One of Tim's favorites, Jim Caldwell.
Ooh.
Yeah, Jim's good. I think Jim is a great enough coach to get the Jags out of whatever hellhole they were spawned into. The thing with Jim, and we pulled the same thing I think the Dolphins just did with Flores. Grass isn't always greener, so take a note from old Matty Whitehorn over there. But the thing with Caldwell is he beats the teams that he's supposed to beat, but I can't remember the stat, but he loses the teams that are over 500. So he'll get you to that middle ground, and I think that's what the Jags need right now, just some stability.
Yeah, I mean that'd be great for him. That's a good landing spot for him.
Yeah.
And Anthony Lynn, you guys lose your OC, which I don't think that's a big deal to you.
Yeah, and as a struggling Lions fan, you could definitely tell when Dan Campbell took over play calling duties, and it kind of just mixed the offense enough to where we were actually scoring. With Anthony Lynn, I think he's a great coach, but it just, with our personnel, it just wasn't vibing. So, and he's another coach where I don't know if he'll get another shot as an OC based on kind of what he showed this year, unfortunately.
I don't think so either. Any other thoughts on it? Cool. Let's move into playoff time. I didn't do the up and down list this week because honestly, you're either in the playoffs or you're out. And that's the bottom line. Number 1 seeds, Titans in the AFC. Packers, number 1 in the NFC. They both get a bye here. They deserved it. They'll be watching football Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. But let's start with Saturday's matchup. Wild card, first playoff game in Cincinnati in a long, long time. There's been the stat that a text message has never been sent out about Cincinnati winning a playoff game because last time they won a playoff game was 91. Text messaging was invented in 92. That was painful to read, but damn, the truth hurts sometimes. Anyway, Cincinnati has a playoff game in the jungle. We're favored by 5.5 points against the Raiders, who it seemed like they were going to tie with LA, the Chargers, and they said, you know what? Never mind. We don't want to tie. We're going in this thing, and they did it, thankfully, to the pub parlay. But over on set 49 here, what do we say? We'll go Devin, Matt, Tim, Fitz.
Elephant in the room. This is definitely the game that nobody gives a shit about.
Whoa!
Wow, dude.
I'm just kidding. It's the playoffs. I didn't even think about it, but last week is probably the last time for this year that we'll do the shittiest game of the week. So
It's kind of sad.
yeah, it is kind of sad. I'm gonna miss it. Miss watching all those shitty games that nobody cares about. With that being said, go Bengals.
Yeah, I love the Raiders for looking at the Chargers. I think that's kind of, we have a term over here, it's called shithousery. It's kind of funny that it knocks out their rivals. Absolutely love that. But go Bengals. I think the Raiders, that was their Super Bowl beating the Chargers right at the end. I think the Bengals do it.
I think this week Derek Carr is going to take some extra supplements, try to get another inch or 2 on his hair, grow his power. But ultimately, it's no match for Joe Burrow and his cigar. We're going Bengals.
Yeah, so this is the number 6 passing offense versus the number 7. And, you can probably just flip-flop them based on stats. But I think it's going to be a shootout. And when you look at Derek Carr, he's been the franchise guy. They're both making their playoff debuts, by the way. Joe Burrow, obviously, second-year player, but Derek Carr's never been before. So the passing game is definitely what is kind of the focus. I think Joe Burrow, he's been superb here in December. I think he's playing his best football. He nearly threw 1,000 yards in his last 2 games of the year. So I think the excitement's all around Joey B, obviously, but the Raiders can hang. I think the one difference in this matchup is the Bengals, their defense, and especially stopping the run, has been key for them. From the beginning of the year to now, they've been pretty consistent. I think for that, I think the run D, I think if the Raiders have a late lead, I think they can get the run stop they need and give Joe Burrow a chance. So I'm going to take Cincy, but this is a really exciting one.
Yeah, I like the over here a lot. I think you hit the nail on the head. Both these offenses are going to score a lot. I was there when Burfitt laid out Juju and we cost us the game. And Gio fumbled and cost us the game in the playoffs. I've been there. I've seen it where we've won a game and then lost it because of just dumbass Cincinnati curses. I'm going to take the Bengals, but I'm hesitant just because I know the curse is all too real in Cincinnati.
Yeah, clean sweep.
Scares the shit out of me. All right. Bills, Patriots, a divisional playoff game, and we're going to see a couple of these in the playoffs. Buffalo is the favorite here by 5 points. Over-under at 43. What do we say?
Oh, gosh. I'm going with the Pat Rats here.
Let's go Buffalo. Just
We're going
simple.
Patriots.
Yeah, so these teams are fairly even across the board. The Bills are the number 1 defense, at least against the pass and points per game. but Patriots are number 2. I mean, they're right behind them in the same categories. They're both kind of mediocre against the run. And then the difference is obviously at quarterback. You've got Josh Allen, who looks like he's poised for the beginning of his prime. He's now, they won their first playoff last year. He's used to this before. Mac Jones, this will be new territory. But it's the third time these teams have met. The first time they met was that shitty weather game that Mac Jones threw it 3 times. And then the next time it was all Bills. But look at the weather report. 6 degrees at kickoff. I think that plays in the favor for Belichick and the defense. And I think they just got a scheme against the Bills' run game that the Bills, despite being 6th in rushing this year, they don't have an 1,000-yard rusher. And actually Josh Allen might be their best running back. So I think as long as you can contain Allen and just give him some different looks, it's a toss-up. I really want to take the Patriots, but Mac Jones just being a little inexperienced, I am going to take the Bills.
This is tough. I was just looking at the weather report. You brought up a good point because you're right. The first time they met in Buffalo, it was just the shitty windstorm game where Mac Jones wearing a scuba suit out there, only threw the ball 3 times. It's not supposed to be as windy, but there is supposed to be a wintry mix in there. You're going to throw the ball less. And so really it comes down to who's got the better rushing offense, who's got the better rushing defense. I think the Bills have that game circled last time they played in Buffalo. They're ready. They're prepared this time. It's a different Buffalo Bills offense and defense we're going to see out there. If it's a bad weather game, give me the Bills, Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, baby. They're getting the job done. Putting Belichick's old tail through a table. Sunday's game starting us off big time. Tampa Bay and the Eagles. If you're like me, I was like, the Eagles are in the playoffs, kind of head scratching, but they find ways to get the job done, especially in the stretch. They were able to win some games that they weren't supposed to. They shouldn't have. Over under set $49, 8.5 point favorite.
Oh yeah, Bucks by a mile.
My head is telling me the Bucks, but there's just that little bit of spark in me that's thinking I like the Eagles in the spot for no apparent reason other than Eagles actually have the best running game in the NFL, which is pretty decent. Yeah. They've got they're way healthier than the Bucks. They've got a good rush defense if you could get after Tom early doors. Give me the Eagles.
Wow, ballsy. I like the Bucks.
Yeah, so these teams met earlier in the season, and when they played, the Eagles only had Miles Sanders. They didn't have the X factor Boston Scott. They hadn't acquired Jordan Howard yet. So, and they lost 22-28. So it's still a game. But now it's this committee, Matt, as you mentioned. They've got the best running game. They pound the rock, and they've got Miles Sanders, Jordan Howard, who's great with the Bears, and Boston Scott, who I think is just everyone's sneaky favorite player. Like he's just the X factor. He just does the dirty work for the Eagles. Oh, and you got a 4th running back, Jalen Hurts, when he decides he wants to take off. So I think it gives Tampa Bay some problems. Levante David is out of this game. So the Bucks, who've been struggling against the run as of late, now they're without their key piece. The only thing that you're hesitant about is Brady in the playoffs. So despite all those things, everything could fall apart with Tampa. They just have this Antonio Brown drama. You're going, oh gosh, things are falling apart. But Brady performs well in the playoffs, especially with teams that aren't supposed to go far. It's usually the teams that are, his 18-0 teams or his great teams. Those are ones that then founder and don't win a Super Bowl. So I'm not sure. I could see the Bucks getting on another run, but I think this game actually gives them the most trouble. So I'm with you, Matt. I'm going to take the Eagles. I'm going to call my shot because I think the run game could give them enough problems. And I think the Bucks just having too many injuries, losing Antonio Brown, there's just a lot of things that are not going their way, and maybe leaves us wondering if Brady's going to hang it up or come back for one more. So go Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly.
We're also just two Packers fans who are scared of what the Bucs did to us last year.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's also true. Yeah, they could look like shit in this game and pull it out and then just come flying at us like nothing happened.
Let's all take a moment of silence here. Philadelphia's done. They're dead. Brady, playoff Brady is a different animal. He's coming off, slinging them. They're cancer-free, baby. AB's cut. Cancer is out of you, baby. Tampa, Champa Bay, Buccaneers gets it done. Easy. Hammering the 8.5. Hammering the over because I like Philly's run game. But Tampa over by halftime. Let's go. Cowboys, Niners, Dallas 3-point favorite. Over on at 51. This is the biggest total we'll see of points. What do we say?
This is like a classic NFL football matchup, and I love it. God, I was going to go with the Cowboys. I was going to ride the Cowboys coattails until I saw or heard today. They're 6-0 or whatever against the NFC East. They're like 5-6 against everybody else or something like that. Is that correct? Pretty mediocre against everybody else. I might put a little money on the Niners to take it all the way. I got a feeling. I got a weird feeling. I'm going with the Niners. Niners all the way.
To the Super Bowl or in this game?
Super Bowl.
Calm down, Cowboy.
He said the S word.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Niners as well. I think this is another upset. We're just gonna. I'm looking forward to seeing Dak Prescott looking sad on the sideline, and videos of Cowboys fans punching TVs because that's one of the best things in the world. Yeah, give me the Niners.
No surprise here. I'm going Niners.
Man, I'm gonna have to change my pick because y'all are all taking. So we got Dallas is the number 3 passing offense. Niners are the number 6 passing defense. So that's an interesting matchup. Cowboys, I think another big story to keep an eye on. They're just a young defense. Like they've been all flash this year. And yes, they get sacked. You got Micah Parsons flying in like a crazy man. You got Diggs just snagging everything. But Diggs gives up more yards than any other DB. So it's bang or bust. It's he's either going to give up a big play or he's going to make a big play by getting a pick. But the Cowboys also, in what I've seen, they give up too many big plays. They miss tackles in the open field. So they're talented, but they're a young defense. I think they'd benefit from Mike Zimmer at defensive coordinator. And I think against a team that's been there before, the Niners, let's not forget they were in the Super Bowl just a year or 2 years ago. And I think with the head coaching staff that's pretty experienced, I think they're going to give the Cowboys some trouble. And I think also for me, I haven't been impressed with Ezekiel Elliott this year. I think with Elliott and Pollard, I haven't seen much balance from this offense. They're just kind of like a run and gun. Like they just get Dak back there. And Dak's played phenomenal. But I just don't know against a team like the Niners who's just more balanced. I think they have more answers and can throw things at you. That this does lean more towards San Fran. But hell, since y'all took them, I think I'm gonna take Dallas. I'm gonna trust the young guns. I think their young defense is playing at a high level. I think they're gonna step up in the big show. And I think Dak's playing his best football. I think I can lean on that and say that Dak is playing like he can make a run. And Devin, I'm even zag you. I think the Cowboys could run. I think they could actually take it this year. They're the team that I do not want the Packers to face out of everyone in the NFC. I'd rather play Tampa. I'd rather play the Rams. I don't want these Cowboys. So I think for that reason, I'll take the Cowboys.
You literally just spelled out every reason to take the Niners.
Yeah, and I flip-flop because it's playoffs. You don't know what's going to happen.
I'm here for it. Don't. Cowboys get it done, baby. It's Zeke time. It's Dak time. Comeback player of the year. Question mark here. Give me the Cowboys to get the job done. The 49ers, I think they keep it close. I just think there's too much firepower for the Cowboys offense, defense, and special teams. I think 49ers eventually just run out of gas. And we've seen that a lot in games where they're doing well, they're keeping it, and fourth quarter happens, and they just run out of star power. They run out of firepower. So for that reason, give me Jerry World and the Cowboys to get it done. Yes, I love Cowboys fans punching TVs and headbutting them, Matt. But this is a different Cowboys team than what we're used to. Tim, I know you hate it. You hate to hear it, but this Cowboys team is actually for real, I think. And I'm not saying they're going to make it the NFC Championship. I'm not saying they're going to the Super Bowl. They win this game, though. And I think they're a dangerous matchup. AFC, number 2 seed versus the last seed here. Chiefs, Steelers. Chiefs, 12.5-point favorite. The biggest dog we have here is Pittsburgh. 46.5 to over-under.
Yeah, poor Pittsburgh. I think they got in by the skin of their teeth there, and I'm on Chiefs. There's no doubt.
Yeah, I'm going to go Chiefs as well, but I wouldn't be too surprised if the Pittsburghs gave them a scare. Chiefs have a tendency to start really slowly in playoff games. Like a couple of years ago when they were down like 21 to the Texans after like one quarter, I think. Yeah, but I think it'll be close, but Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm going Chiefs.
Yeah, so last year, I just remember every week I was picking someone to take the Chiefs down. And it never happened. Like, I was just like, they're not as good as everyone thinks. And then Mahomes would just get it done. Or Henny, of all people, would come in and win a game for him. But I don't know. I think with Kansas City this year, a lot of people, when they were 3-4, it was problems on the offensive line. They had 4 new guys come in, and they were just trying to figure out how to play together. And 2 of them, rookies, their center and their right guard, who are now, they've turned the corner, and everyone's raving about these rookies on their offensive line. And they are now like I think they're top 4 in the league at least, maybe second best offensive line just in the second half of the year. But now you got to face the number 1 pass rush in the league, facing TJ Watt, who's Defensive Player of the Year, and Cameron Hayward, who should be all pro, I think, at his position. So it's an interesting matchup for offensive line. I think if you can rattle Mahomes, and again, facing rookies, if you're facing some young guys who've not been there before, Steelers, this could just play in their hands to make a statement defensively. But golly, you got to put up points if you're the Steelers. And I think it relies on Najee Harris, that right now he's got an elbow injury he's fighting through, which as a running back, brace that thing up and just let him pound the rock. But, Ben also he has to perform well. And when you look at the past playoff appearances for the Steelers, Roethlisberger, despite some of these losses, he's put up like big yardage games. It's almost like he saves it for the end of the year. Like he'll throw 200 yards in every game all year, and then for the playoffs, they get behind and he slings it for 400. So, I mean, I would love. I'm gonna take my pick. You know what? I'm picking both 7 seeds. I'm taking the Steelers. I think the Chiefs are not as good. I think their schedule's been very favorable. Everyone's been raving about them. And I think the Steelers' division opponent exposed them. I think the Bengals exposed what the weaknesses are of the Chiefs. I'm raising the terrible towel. Let's go. Pulling for Big Ben.
Let him hang, Fitz. Let them big balls hang on the 7 seed. Pass me that towel here, son, so I can wipe my tail with it. Kansas City by 1.5 miles. Kansas, come on, man.
Hey, we'll see. It's playoffs, man. Didn't I flip a coin one year?
Yeah, the coin
For
never
these-
steered you wrong. So,
Yeah, man.
but
You never
Hey.
know with these.
you never know. I do think Pittsburgh keeps it within 12.5. I will take them with the points here. But come on, Kansas City, Mahomes versus old Big Ben. Come on. What are we doing? Last game, Monday night game. I love a little Monday night playoff action here. Rams, Cards, another interdivisional game. LA 4-point favorite, 49.5. An immovable object meets an unstoppable force here, Tim. You said I'm betting on the Rams all the way to the Super Bowl. I'm betting for the Cards all the way to the Super Bowl. We get a first-round matchup here, brother.
Rams.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Rams.
Give me the Rams.
Oh man, you make my pick easy. I'm definitely gonna lock in the Cardinals. I just think after the last game for the Rams, they came off hot. I don't know, they've struggled. Like even against the Ravens, they struggled. They relied on Odell to make some late heroic plays. Their defense, despite big names, they just have too many miscues. And I think for the Cardinals, I think they haven't been the same since Kyler got hurt against the Packers, but I think they're starting to get it back together. I think it's key for this game. I think James Conner's injury, he's got some ribs. He's got a rib issue going on. But he's had such a nose for the end zone this year. And I think he's very key. And I think Kyler, I think he's just going to pull. I think he's going to give the Rams problems. These teams know each other well. I'm feeling the Cardinals. They were the top team at one point, and the Rams don't feel like they're as good as everyone thinks they are. So go Cards.
This was tough for me to see this matchup here because I want Stafford to go out in his Super Bowl ways. He deserves it. Tim, we've talked about this multiple times that Stafford just deserves a Super Bowl. The type of BS he went through with Detroit, he needs it. But they're not cancer-free. They still have cancer. They got to cut it out. Odell still worming his way in that locker room, growing, just cysting, and taking over the whole organization. They got to cut it out, man. So for that reason, Cardinals, I'm betting the whole stack, baby, on them to get the job done because all injuries seem to be back minus Connor here. I think Arizona's locked and loaded. JJ Watt is back in action, baby, and he won't be stopped.
He's back?
The Cards. He's back, baby.
Oh, lock it in. That easy money. I didn't realize that. I thought he was gone.
He's back. This is gonna be good. Tim,
who's calling the game?
That's a you question. I don't know. I never paid attention to commentators.
I was hoping. I don't know if y'all listened to the Herb Street. He called one of the NFL games last week. I can't remember if it was a Saturday game, I think, but ABC called it. But I just think it's cool. I hate ESPN's broadcast, but Herb Street is interesting because he has so much college knowledge. Like someone like Kyler Murray, like I feel like he would give us the progression of Kyler has really and just kind of give us like what he did at Oklahoma versus what he's doing now. Like I was just very interested in Herb Street calling NFL game. I'm all for it. And I feel like I feel like he's the opposite of me, where he hates NFL and loves college.
Yeah.
But I think he's such a good mind.
I loved him commentating the national championship. I love him commentating any game. So I'm with you on that. I hope he's doing all of them. Devin says no, but
oh god, no. I hate Herb Street.
Him and old man Lee Corso need to be every broadcasting. All right.
Literally anyone but Aqib Talib. I get him every Detroit game, and Aqib Talib is truly the worst commentator. It drives me crazy. Sometimes I just have to mute the game.
Tim, let's make this one interesting. Since you picked the Rams early favorite, I picked the Cards early favorite. Loser grows a chin strap for a week.
Oh my
Keep your chin
god.
strap.
I'll grow what I can, but I'm down.
Okay. All right, I'll take it. Hey, that's it for the playoffs. Some really, really good games. I'm excited to see what happens on it. We're going to do our pick'ems, and this year, the winner gets a nice championship stein. We're not doing a punishment for loser because we still owe punishments. We haven't gotten together since all the playoffs have happened, so we need to get together and do the punishments. But we're going to do a beer stein with the champion engraved on it for the winner of the NFL picks. So I'm excited for that. Thanks to the pub parlay that pays for it, so we're good there.
Ah.
And if Matt wins, we got to do international shipping, so that really works.
Yeah, it's quite a lot.
I love it. Matt, footy action. What you got for us on the pitch?
Okay, so as I said last week, it was the FA Cup. As a week just gone, and FA Cup is kind of like March Madness. There's always a crazy upsets, and people over there call it the magic of the cup, where you see crazy upsets happen. And there was two massive ones this weekend. A couple of months ago, I mentioned that Newcastle United are now the most richest football club in the world. They are owned by the Saudi Arabian government, of all people. They're owned by a company that are operated by the Saudi Arabian government. It's called sports washing. Have a deeper look into it. But anyway, they've just been buying loads of players. They bought a player for 12 million. I bought another player for 20 million. But this Saturday, they played Cambridge United. And if I say Cambridge, you'll think of a university. You've never even think of Cambridge United. They are in the same league of my Charlton Athletic. They are in 2 leagues below Newcastle. And the game was played at the St. James's Park, which at a full crowd, which is at Newcastle Stadium that holds about 60,000 people. And yeah, and Cambridge United won 1-0. I mean, if you ever watch the highlights, Newcastle had 3 or 4 absolutely golden chances. And end of the day, just if you don't take your chances, you're never going to score. And, and if you underestimate your opponents, which they did, Cambridge United won. And it was an absolute unbelievable day for Cambridge. Great day out for their fans. Newcastle has a great nightlife, so I'm sure they got pissed right up. But yeah, great game. Unbelievable upset. One upset for years and years and years. And another one is Nottingham Forest versus Arsenal. And this one, Arsenal dominated the possession of the ball. They had 67% of the ball, but they were just passing around the back and this outside the Forest box. They weren't really penetrating, Forest's defense. And they also don't have one shot on target throughout the whole game. They didn't play well at all. And then in the 83rd minute, Bukayo Saka has got the ball for Arsenal, trying to make a pass up forwards up the pitch. It gets intercepted, passed down the line. Then a Forest player whips it across, and Lewis Graben, who is he's like the Fitzpatrick of championship footballers. He's been to so many different clubs, but he's always scores goals. And he nestled it in the bottom corner, and the fans went crazy. And Forest are a good team. It's not a massive upset, but they're still a league below. I mean, people here, when I say Nottingham, you probably think of Robin Hood more than Nottingham Forest. But still an upset. Disappointing for Arsenal. It was a good game, but yeah. Looking forward to this weekend. We've got 3 games to look forward to. One, we've got to look forward to Wolverhampton versus Southampton. That is 10 o'clock Saturday. And we will remember, big up the Wolves. Even though the Saints, Southampton, won 4-1 tonight. So that's not a good omen.
Nope.
Not a good omen. But Wolves are playing at Molineux, which is their home ground. Southampton have a bad away record. So the Wolves, it's going to happen.
Please.
Yeah, 3 hours before that game, even bigger game, Man City versus Chelsea. Chelsea need to win this, even if they are to have a chance to win the league, because Man City are romping away at the moment. It's at the Etihad, it's in Manchester. Should be a Man City win, but Chelsea really need to win this. And finally, we've got Spurs v Arsenal, the North London derby, one of the most intense rivalries in England. Both teams have been playing well this year. They've been doing okay. I think Spurs are going to win though, because at White Hart Lane, and they've been doing well underneath Antonio Conte. But there we go. Some good games. Sorry, that last game is on 11 o'clock Sunday afternoon or Sunday morning. Sorry. So there we go.
I love it. Can we rewind real quick? Looking at Newcastle United, just their logo alone compared to Cambridge. This looks like Southampton Institute of Technology came out with the soccer logo. Like, yeah, we're going to run with that. Like, come on. How do you lose to that?
Yeah, that is the worst logo ever.
That's terrible. Some Americans designed that or something. What are we doing?
What the hell's supposed to be on top of the soccer ball?
No idea.
Cambridge, we got to figure this out. Let us know what's supposed to be on top.
Huh.
If there's any fans or anybody out there.
I mean,
don't know.
it's one of the best, home to one of the best minds, one of the best universities in the world. And that's the best they could have come up with.
Well, that's because smart people ain't got a lick of artistic sense. Come on,
Yeah.
Ain't a
man.
lick of it.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, if you look at Arsenal Forest, hey, that's a good looking logo right there. They did pretty good.
At least they got a fucking tree.
Cambridge, what the fuck are we doing? Yeah. Terrible. All right. We had our fun. We're ready for the pub parlay. We're going to go back to back.
I just realized Devin's got to rely on this soccer game. Where.
Oh, is he going to double down on it?
Well, I'm saying where we. I'm saying we all did the parlay thinking we'd end with the natty, end with the national championship. Now we've just got some soccer game.
Trust me, I thought I'd end with the fucking natty too. Pick the wrong fucking game.
I felt so bad when you texted that Saturday morning. You were like, guys, I fucked up. That's why both of us put the pub parlay in. This is why. But cute little scrappy. Let's talk about it.
Money in the bank. Shout out what you drink. I got money in the bank. Shout out what you drink. I got money in the bank. Shout out what you drink.
Hey, we definitely got money in the bank. We got money to play with. Let's hit it big this week, boys. Pub parlay. Let's go 2 for 2. We don't have Jay Gray, but that's all right. She did her job. She hit us big. So, what do we get this weekend?
I'm staying away from NFL playoffs. I just
Probably a
do
smart man.
not think you should bet on any of those games. That's my 2 cents.
I'm feeling real superstitious right now. Last time we had a fucking hit on the parlay, we went on a dud run. Okay, I'm talking a dud run. So
bad.
what I'm gonna do, the pub parlay is gonna bet on Southampton this Saturday. I'm going to either fuck myself or vision this.
All right, we're taking Southampton over the Wolves. Oh, Lord.
God.
All right.
That's smart.
I don't know if that's smart or not.
I don't think it is.
Trust me, I don't want them to win. I'm doing my thing here.
It's probably the first time we ever said don't win on the pub parlay.
Hmm.
All right. Southampton, we're taking them.
All right, I'm just going to say it. 49ers over Dallas.
Thank you. That's what I wanted to do, but
I thought you were going to take that, Dev. So thank you
Nope,
for giving me that one.
Oh, my Lord. All right. Straight up. No points. We're taking the money line with them.
Straight up.
cash, homie.
Man, I'm looking at college basketball. Real tempted to take NC State over Duke, but it's at Cameron, and NC State's trash this year. So I'm going to look for something else.
Okay, so my football picks are normally pretty safe, but I'm going to go quite risky this weekend because I don't want this parlay to hit now. I'm going to go Aston Villa to beat Manchester United. They just played a couple of days ago. Sorry, Monday. Man United won 1-0. It was at Trafford, but Villa had three goals ruled out for VAR, and they hit the post like 3 times, and they played much better. So give me Villa. That's me and my Birmingham accent.
The chicken.
All right, I got my pick. Give me Arkansas over LSU. Upset.
Arkansas. All right.
Over 12 LSU in college hoops.
Now, do you call Arkansas or Kansas? There's a big debate there.
Arkansas.
Oh, Kansas.
You know what? We're doing it. Let's go Bengals money line. We're getting our first playoff win here.
Yes.
First playoff one in
Target.
20 years. Let's go.
Target. This is the opposite. This is the opposite parlay, Parker.
Yeah, you got to put the Steelers to win money line.
You know what? All right, we're doing it.
Oh,
Steelers
God.
to beat Kansas City Monday night. We're throwing money away at this point. Let's just do it. Scratch that. Take Cincinnati off it. We're taking Pittsburgh over Kansas City.
Yes.
Hey, that's 14,000 odds. Not as terrible as last weekend.
14. Bloody hell.
Dude, what if we hit twice? Like, that would just be absurd.
Devin would be a sad panda.
I know, yeah. He goes from
If I hit this-
11,000.
If I hit the second time, you said 14,000,
Yeah.
I'll make more money.
Yeah, if you bet you're saying 50, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, all right.
I don't care who wins at this point.
Actually,
I'm
no.
still gambling.
Someone's got to pay for the crab cakes at this wedding.
All right. Hey, it's locked in. We're doing this thing. That's without Arkansas being on there. I couldn't find Arkansas. We'll have to wait till Friday to put it in. But so those odds are only going to go up. So why not throw some money on it? All right. Random question, Fitz. You have one for us. It's going to take some thinking from us. So we'll see how
Yeah,
well we do.
you might need to look it up. But
Oh,
I was
Lord.
trying to think. I was trying to be creative. I was thinking of Georgia, just national champions, on the brink of MLK holiday, Martin Luther King, roots in Atlanta, Georgia. So just kind of thinking Georgia theme. And I was like, well, what if we branch out and just think United States theme? So Matt, you might need to put your thinking cap on. I don't know how well you know your U.S. states, but basically dinner party, 3 guests you get to invite to your house. The one rule is your 3 guests all have to have ties to one U.S. state. So you got to pick a state and then 3 people from that state. So, for example, if I chose the state of Georgia, I could have Martin Luther King Jr., Ray Charles, and Kirby Smart at my dinner party. Or Hank Aaron, if I so wanted. That's not my answer. That's just the example.
It's a good example.
Can this be anyone, or is it
Anybody,
Like,
dead or alive, anybody you want.
all right.
I got this. All right, I got Dale Earnhardt. And I'm going North Carolina, by the way. That's obvious. I got Dale Earnhardt, Sugar Ray Leonard, and Vince McMahon.
That's a good list. That's solid.
Wow.
That's good.
I'm
Not
going.
Jordan. Sorry.
Bro,
It's like
Jersey?
go Michael
Born in
Jordan.
Jersey?
I'm
But
going,
I'd say ties. You can have ties with. You don't have to be born there. You just have to have.
So
a
you can just
connection.
pick 3 random people.
Yeah,
He touched
That's
North
not true.
Carolina once.
I'm picking Ted Nugent, Kid Rock, and Eminem, and I'm hoping that all 3 of them just beat the tar out of each other.
Hell yeah.
I mean,
Michigan down the line.
I'm absolutely lost here. Can I just say I'm going to pick North Carolina and pick all you lot?
Oh,
Hey, look at
Hey,
you.
you only get 3. So
Well,
Someone gets cut.
you're making me think at quarter to 2 on a Tuesday night fit, so I think I'm kicking you out.
How about 3 from
yeah,
England?
there you go.
Yeah.
3 people from England.
Oh, okay. Oh, bloody hell. Got to think again now. Probably Winston Churchill, probably the Queen, and give me Freddie Mercury. There we go. That's a very English
Oh my
answer.
gosh,
Those are good.
that'd be a lit dinner party. All right, so I guess I have a question now. Would Brett Favre qualify for Minnesota
No.
because he was in Minnesota?
It's your
Yeah.
rules.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
got
you-
time.
I think
Yeah,
he
dog.
has ties. He has ties in Minnesota.
Yeah, homie.
He bought a home in Minnesota.
All right.
I think that
He
qualifies.
played football for the fucking Vikings. He's got ties to Minnesota.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm just saying, like he was based in Minnesota for a time.
He paid state taxes to Minnesota.
Yeah,
Is that what the basis is?
That's the
because I was debating between Wisconsin, but I really want to get Prince and Brett Favre at a dinner party, and I'll throw in Winona Ryder. She's a great actress.
Oh,
It's my 3.
You know, I want to do California just because I mean you got people like The Rock, but I like kind of like just random states here. I'm going to go to Kentucky. I'm going to go Johnny Depp, George Clooney, and then I'm going to throw in Muhammad Ali. We can
Jeez.
bring him back from the dead. Why not?
Jesus.
It's like sexiest man alive standoff, and then just like Ali.
Just ready to knock their shit in, baby. Parkinson and all, we're going.
I'm eating cream corn, motherfucker. You better shut the fuck up.
I'm here for it.
Rest in
Hey,
peace.
good question. Good question. That's going to do it for the show. That's episode OchoCinco 85 in the book. Shout out to the boys. The OG crew is here. As always, be a friend. Tell a friend about the pub. Enjoy a weekend. Go put some money. Maybe not the pub parlay. Hell, maybe we get lucky and go back to back, baby. Let's make some money. But have a wonderful time, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Bye.
Have a wonderful time.
See ya.
In a bit, go well.
Golly, boys. Once again, no one had to do crappy accents or anything.